Sister faked a car crash for $100,000 payout. She needs cash for family, parents said, ordering me to sign as witness. I agreed, but after I left, I reported the fraud to SIU. Weeks later, all three faced felony charges. Have you ever been asked to destroy your career, betray your principles, and risk prison, all to save your own family from the consequences of their actions? Because that's exactly what my family asked me to do. And what I did next, well, it tore us apart. It all started on a Friday evening, stuck in rush hour traffic, phone vibrating on the passenger seat. It was Natalie, my sister. I hadn't heard from her in 4 months. The last time she called, she needed $15,000. Emergency surgery, she said. Life or death. Turns out it was Greg's gambling debt. Her husband, unemployed for a year and a half, spiraling. The surgery story was just easier to sell to the family. Put it on speaker, Owen, I told her, my voice already heavy with a familiar dread. Her voice was shaky. Rehearsed shaky, or real shaky.
It was always so hard to tell with Natalie.
I was in a car accident, she said. My first thought? Here we go. Are you okay? I asked, bracing myself. Yeah, no, she stammered. My neck hurts. I'm pretty shaken up. Can you come over tomorrow? I need to talk to you about something. What happened? I'll explain tomorrow, please. It's important. I agreed. Told her I'd be there around 11. She thanked me 3 times before hanging up. That was the first red flag. Natalie didn't thank people. She expected things. 2 years ago, I'd loaned her that 15 grand. She promised to pay me back in 6 months. Never saw a cent. When I dared to bring it up at Christmas dinner, my mother shut me down. Let it go, Owen. Family doesn't keep score. Natalie's struggling. You're doing fine on your own. Doing fine meant working 60 hours a week as a fraud analyst for State Farm Insurance. Natalie, meanwhile, stayed home with her kids while Greg worked on startup ideas that never left the idea phase. But, family doesn't keep score. The next morning, I pulled into my parents' driveway. Both their cars were there, Greg's truck and Natalie's SUV. Its rear bumper was crumpled, fresh damage, looked like a fender bender. Someone just tapped it in a parking lot. I walked through the front door. Everyone was already in the living room. My parents on the couch, Natalie in the armchair, Greg standing by the window. Nobody smiled. It felt like an intervention. Thanks for coming, my mother said, her voice tight with worry. Or maybe it was something else. Natalie looked up. Dark circles under her eyes. Could have been real exhaustion. Could have been makeup. I got rear-ended Thursday afternoon, she started. Stopped at a red light. Guy behind me wasn't paying attention. Hit me hard. She touched her neck, winced. Performance or actual pain? Still couldn't tell. Did you go to the hospital? I asked. Not right away. Adrenaline, But the next morning I couldn't move my neck. Went to urgent care. Doctor said whiplash, possibly a herniated disc. I need an MRI. Greg handed me his phone. Photos of the accident. A dented rear bumper, a bent license plate, a cracked taillight. No airbag deployment, no visible damage to the car's frame. Maybe $1,000 in repairs, tops. We're filing a claim, Greg stated, not asking. Okay, I said, handing the phone back. That's what insurance is for. For $100,000, he added. My head snapped up. For that, my father leaned forward, hands clasped. Insurance companies have deep pockets, Owen. They can afford it. $100,000 for a fender bender? My voice was probably too loud. Natalie's voice went higher, defensive. It's not just the car. It's medical bills. Lost wages. I can't work right now. My neck. You don't work, I deadpanned. The silence was instant. Heavy. Greg's jaw tightened. My mother looked at the floor. Natalie recovered fast. I was about to start working, had an interview lined up. Now I can't because of the injury. That's lost income. Plus pain and suffering, Greg added, stepping in. PTSD. She can barely drive anymore. Panic attacks every time she gets in the car. I just handed the phone back, didn't say anything. Let the silence stretch, thick with unspoken accusations. My father broke it. We need you to sign a witness statement. There it was. I wasn't there, I said, a cold dread washing over me. But you could have been, my mother said quickly. Too quickly. You drive that route every day coming home from work. But I wasn't there Thursday. Greg pulled a folded paper from his back pocket, unfolded it, and handed it to me. A pre-written witness statement. 2 pages, single-spaced, legalese. I read every single word. The statement claimed I was driving 2 cars behind Natalie, saw the defendant's vehicle strike her car with significant force, observed Natalie visibly injured and in distress immediately following impact, heard her screaming in pain. I looked at Greg, my eyes narrowed. This is perjury. It's helping family, my father insisted. My mother started crying. Real tears this time. Natalie's about to lose her house. Did you know that? 3 months behind on the mortgage. The bank sent a foreclosure notice last week. Natalie's voice cracked. We're trying, Owen. Greg's been looking for work. I've been cutting every expense I can, but we have 2 kids. Daycare costs $1,200 a month. Groceries, utilities. The mortgage is $3,200. We're drowning. And you think insurance fraud is the answer? I asked, my voice flat. Greg stepped closer, aggressive energy radiating off him. We think family helps family. That's the answer. I already helped. I reminded them, my voice rising a little. $15,000 2 years ago. That was different. You never paid me back. Never even tried. My mother's voice went sharp. Are you seriously bringing up money right now? Your sister is in pain. She's about to lose her home. Her children are about to be homeless, and you're worried about some loan from 2 years ago. I looked at the statement again, at my name typed at the bottom, the signature line waiting. Why me? My father sat back, trying to look casual. You work in insurance. You understand how these things work. Your statement will carry weight with the adjuster. That's when it clicked. They didn't just need a witness. They needed my witness. Because I'm a fraud analyst at State Farm. Because my job title would show up on that statement. Because an insurance professional saying he witnessed a high-speed collision would be harder to dispute than some random person off the street. The irony wasn't lost on me. My job was catching people who did exactly what they were asking me to do. This is fraud, I stated. Greg's voice hardened. This is family. Insurance pays out. Nobody gets hurt. Victimless crime. Premiums go up, I shot back. Everyone pays more. That's the victim. Are you seriously giving me a lecture right now? I looked at my sister. Really looked at her. Saw the desperation, the fear. Maybe real, maybe not, but definitely there. How much do you actually need to save the house? She blinked, surprised. $8,000. That would cover the missed payments and late fees. And you're claiming $100,000? Greg jumped in. That's how these things work. You ask for more, they offer less. You settle in the middle. Standard negotiation. I read the statement one more time. I thought about the $15,000 I'd never see again. Thought about my parents choosing her over me. Every single time. Thought about Greg's truck in the driveway that I'd helped buy with that loan. Thought about Christmas dinners where my career was boring and Natalie's kids were miracles. Thought about the hundreds of fraud cases I'd worked. I knew exactly how this would play out if I said no. They'd find someone else to sign. Probably get away with it. Most staged accidents do. But if I said yes, if I agreed, got them on record, then reported them, then maybe consequences would finally find them. Fine. Everyone exhaled. I hadn't realized they'd been holding their breath. I'll sign it. My mother grabbed my hand. Thank you. Thank you so much. But I need to take it home, I continued, pulling my hand away. Read it carefully. Have my lawyer look at it. Make sure I'm protected if anything goes wrong. Greg's face shifted, suspicious. Why do you need a lawyer? Because I'm signing a legal document that could be used in court. I want to make sure I'm covered. My father nodded. Reasonable. That's smart. When can you get it back to us? Tonight? I'll scan it. Email it by morning. Natalie stood up, hugged me, whispered "thank you" into my shoulder. I didn't hug back. I left 20 minutes later, drove straight to the State Farm office. Saturday evening, building empty except for security. Carlos recognized me, let me in without questions. I'd worked late enough weekends that he didn't think twice. Took the elevator to the third floor, my cubicle in the corner. Computer still on from yesterday. I'd left a fraud case open. Suspected staged collision in Michigan, $42,000 claim. Red flags everywhere. Kind of like my sister's. I opened the National Insurance Database. NICB. Every insurance company feeds data into it. Cross-reference tool. Catches people who file multiple claims across different companies. Typed in Natalie's name, social security number, date of birth. 2 results. First result. Current claim filed with Mercury Insurance 3 days ago, $100,000, rear-end collision, whiplash, PTSD. Second result. Claim from 3 years ago, Mercury Insurance, $42,000, rear-end collision, whiplash. Same intersection. The same intersection. I pulled up Greg's name. 4 results. All as witness. All different vehicles. All suspicious. 2 in Ohio, 1 in Indiana, 1 in Michigan. The pattern was clear. Professional witness. Fraud ring. Then I searched the defendant, the driver who supposedly hit Natalie. Name from the police report my sister had texted me earlier. Marcus Williams. Ran his name through Facebook. Found him in 30 seconds. Profile public. Recent photos. One from 2 months ago. Birthday party. Greg in the background, arms around Marcus, both smiling. Tagged. Happy birthday, cuz. Cousins. The defendant was Greg's cousin. I screenshotted everything. Police report, database results, Facebook photos. Built a folder. Named it Natalie Evidence. Then I opened the SIU portal, Special Investigations Unit, the internal reporting system for suspected fraud. Used it 100 times before. Never for family. I uploaded everything. The unsigned witness statement they'd asked me to sign. Screenshots of Natalie's prior claim. Greg's witness history. The Facebook connection between Greg and the defendant. Added a summary. Suspected organized fraud ring. Sister Natalie Mitchell filed identical claims 3 years apart. Brother-in-law Greg Williams appears as witness on multiple suspicious claims. Defendant Marcus Williams is Greg Williams' cousin per social media evidence. Family members attempted to coerce me into signing false witness statement. I am a State Farm fraud analyst. I declined to participate. The portal asked for my employee ID. I entered it. Asked if I had a personal relationship with the subjects. Checked yes. Sister and parents. Asked if I'd been approached about the claim. Checked yes. Pressured to provide false testimony. My cursor hovered over submit. I thought about Natalie's kids, 5 and 3 years old. Thought about my parents' late 60s, fixed income. Thought about my niece asking why Uncle Owen doesn't visit anymore. I pressed submit. A confirmation appeared instantly. Case number SIU 202244783 assigned to investigator Monica Reyes. Estimated timeline, 2 to 4 weeks. I opened my email, composed a message to my family. I reviewed the witness statement. After consulting with my attorney, I can't sign it. I wasn't present at the accident, and signing would be inaccurate. I'm sorry I can't help in this way. I kept it vague, professional, like I was just being cautious. Like I hadn't just reported them to a fraud investigation unit that had a 93% conviction rate. I sent the email. Then I opened a new browser tab. Mercury Insurance Fraud Hotline. Anonymous tip line. Typed out a message suggesting they reinvestigate Natalie Mitchell's 2021 claim. Mention the pattern, the cousin connection, the witness history.
Submitted that too.
I shut down my computer. Walked to my car. Drove home. Made dinner. Watched TV. Went to bed. And I slept fine. Monday morning, my phone woke me up. Vibrating across the nightstand. 7:15 a.m. I checked the screen. 23 missed calls. 15 from my mother. 6 from my father. 2 from Natalie. Voicemail from Dad, left at 6:42 a.m. What do you mean you can't sign? We're counting on you. Natalie's lawyer needs that statement by Wednesday. Call me back. Second voicemail. Mom, crying. Those children are going to be homeless because you won't help your own niece and nephew. How can you live with yourself? Text from Greg. All caps. You promised Natalie's lawyer is waiting. Send the statement today. I deleted the voicemails. Didn't respond to the text. Made coffee. Went to work. Tuesday afternoon, my desk phone rang. Internal extension. Security desk. There's a Monica Reyes here to see you. Says she has an appointment. I didn't have an appointment, but I knew who Monica Reyes was. Senior investigator, SIU, 20 years with the fraud unit. Handled organized crime cases. She'd closed a medical fraud ring last year that had stolen $2.3 million from 6 different insurance companies. Send her up. Monica arrived 10 minutes later. Late 40s, gray blazer, leather portfolio, no-nonsense energy. She sat across from my desk without waiting for an invitation. I read your report. Okay. Your sister's claim history is interesting. She opened the portfolio, pulled out printed pages. 2 rear-end collisions, 3 years apart, same intersection. Both times she claimed whiplash and PTSD. Both times the defendant was found at fault. Both times she settled before investigation. I saw that. I confirmed. And your brother-in-law appears as witness on 4 separate claims over 5 years. Different vehicles, different insurance companies, always rear-end collisions, always low-speed impact, always settles quickly. She laid out photos. Printouts from Facebook. Greg and Marcus at a birthday party. Another photo from a wedding, Greg's arm around Marcus, both in matching groomsmen suits. The defendant who supposedly hit your sister, Marcus Williams, that's Greg's cousin. I know. Monica leaned back. This is textbook staged collision. We see about 200 of these per year. Organized rings, usually family members. They rotate through different insurance companies, so no single company catches the pattern. But the NICB database caught it. What happens now? Surveillance. We put eyes on your sister for 2 weeks. Document her actual physical condition. If she's claiming she can't work, can't drive, can't function, but surveillance shows otherwise, that's evidence of fraud. When does surveillance start? Started this morning. Wednesday afternoon, Monica called. Your sister drove herself to Target, parked, walked through the store for 45 minutes, carried out 4 heavy shopping bags. No visible discomfort, no neck brace, no assistance. Her medical records claim she can't lift over 5 pounds. I know, I said. We have copies. Thursday's surveillance showed Natalie at a yoga studio. 70-minute class, downward dog, warrior pose, full range of motion. No sign of the severe back pain documented in her insurance claim. Friday, she picked up her kids from school, lifted her 3-year-old out of the car seat, carried him on her hip across the parking lot, laughing, playing. Normal. Thursday afternoon, my work phone rang. External number. Didn't recognize it. This is Owen. Owen Mitchell. A male voice professional. This is David Chun. I'm representing Natalie Mitchell in her personal injury claim. I need to discuss your witness statement. I already told my family I can't provide a statement. Can you clarify why not? Because I wasn't present at the accident. A pause. A long one. Your family indicated you were behind your sister's vehicle at the time of the collision. They were mistaken. So, you're saying you did not witness the accident? Correct. And you did not see the defendant's vehicle strike your sister's vehicle? Correct. Another pause. Keyboard clicking in the background. Thank you for clarifying. I'll be in touch. He hung up. 30 minutes later, my phone exploded. Natalie calling. I didn't answer. Called again. Didn't answer. 3rd time, I picked up. You lied. Screaming, high-pitched, hysterical. You said you'd sign. You promised. I said I'd review the statement. I reviewed it. I can't sign something that's not accurate. We're going to lose everything because of you. The house, the car, everything. My kids are going to be homeless. Then you shouldn't have staged an accident. Silence. A sharp intake of breath. I didn't stage anything. I was in a real accident. You're just being spiteful because of that stupid loan from 2 years ago. The defendant is Greg's cousin. I saw the Facebook photos. She hung up, didn't call back. Friday morning the following week, my desk phone rang. Reception. Your parents are in the lobby. They're asking to see you. Tell them I'm in a meeting. Tell them I'll call later. 15 minutes later, reception called again. They're still here. Your father is getting agitated. Should I call security? Give them another 30 minutes. If they're still there, yes. They waited 45 minutes. Finally left. Receptionist called. Your father left a note. She brought it up. White envelope. My name on the front in my father's familiar handwriting. I opened it. You're choosing an insurance company over your own family. We won't forget this. Don't expect us to forget. I threw it away, got back to work. That afternoon, Monica called. We pulled traffic camera footage from the intersection, and you need to see this. Can you come to my office? I took the elevator to the 5th floor. SIU occupied the entire level. Monica's office in the corner.
2 monitors on her desk.
She spun one toward me. Press play. Traffic camera footage. Black and white. Timestamp in the corner. The intersection where Natalie claimed she'd been rear-ended. 2 cars entered the frame, both from the same direction. Natalie's SUV, Marcus's sedan. They arrived together, not one behind the other, but side by side, like they'd been driving in formation. Both cars stopped at the red light. Sat there for 30 seconds. Then Marcus's car drifted forward slowly, maybe 3 miles per hour. Tapped Natalie's rear bumper. Gentle, like parking. Both drivers got out. No urgency, no panic. Marcus walked to Natalie's window. They talked. Calm conversation. Natalie smiled. They exchanged information, took photos, got back in their cars, drove away. No screaming, no visible distress, no injury. Monica paused the video just before the collision. Watch this. She rewound 30 seconds, zoomed in. Marcus's car. His hand visible through the windshield. Waving. Not a friendly wave. A signal wave.
Coordinating.
Smoking gun. What happens now? I asked. Now we get warrants. 3 weeks after I filed the report, Monica called. We have everything. Surveillance footage shows your sister has full range of motion. No injury. Traffic camera shows the collision was staged. We pulled phone records. 62 calls between Greg and Marcus in the week before the accident. Another 37 texts, all deleted. But phone companies keep records. What's next? Warrants for your sister, for Greg, and for your parents. My parents. The words caught in my throat. They participated in pressuring you to commit perjury. That's conspiracy to commit fraud. They're accomplices. I didn't say anything. Monica's voice softened just slightly. I know they're your family, Owen, but they tried to make you a criminal. That's not family. That's exploitation. When? Warrants issued this afternoon. Arrest tomorrow morning, 6:30 a.m. All 4 of them. All 4. I repeated, the reality settling in. Insurance fraud, conspiracy, attempted witness tampering. All felonies. Bail will be set at $50,000 each. I hung up, sat at my desk, stared at the computer screen. Thought about my niece and nephew, 5 and 3. Thought about them watching their mother get arrested. Thought about my parents in handcuffs. Thought about Christmas dinners that would never happen again. It didn't change my mind. Friday morning, early. My phone rang at 7:15. Aunt Carol, my father's sister, who lived 2 hours away and I hadn't spoken to in a year. What did you do? Her voice was pure fury. Good morning to you, too. The police arrested Natalie at her house in front of her children. They called me. I'm driving there now to get the kids. What did you do? I reported insurance fraud. You reported your own sister? I reported a crime. Do you have any idea what you've done? Richard and Susan are in jail. Natalie's in jail. Greg's in jail. Those children watched their mother get arrested. Do you understand that? I understand that their mother committed a felony and tried to make me an accomplice. She needed help. She was desperate. She needed $8,000. She tried to steal $100,000. That's not desperation. That's greed. Aunt Carol's voice went cold, cutting. You are no longer a part of this family. She hung up. I made coffee. Checked the local news. Story already up. For arrested in insurance fraud scheme. State Farm employee reports family members. They didn't use my name.
Didn't need to.
Anyone who knew the family would figure it out. My phone started ringing. Cousins, uncles, extended family, I barely knew. All with the same message. How could you? They're family. You sent your own parents to jail. I didn't answer. Let it go to voicemail. 23 messages by noon. I forwarded one message to all of them. The witness statement. The one Greg had handed me. The one that would have sent me to prison for perjury. Added one line. This is what they asked me to sign. I chose to report them instead. Then I blocked every number. Went back to work. The bail hearing happened 4 days after the arrests. Monday morning, county courthouse. I didn't attend. Followed it online through the court docket system. All 4 defendants in orange jumpsuits. Shackled. Public defender representing them. Young guy, overworked, handling 6 other cases that week. He argued for reduced bail. Claimed they weren't flight risks. Had ties to the community. No prior criminal records. My mother had lived in the same house for 37 years. My father was a deacon at their church. Natalie had 2 young children who needed her. The prosecutors shut it down fast. These defendants participated in organized insurance fraud. They attempted to coerce a family member into committing perjury. They have demonstrated a pattern of deception spanning multiple years. Flight risk is significant. The judge reviewed the evidence. Traffic camera footage, surveillance video, phone records, my written statement. Bail set at $50,000 each. $200,000 total for all 4. None of them had that kind of money. Greg's parents scraped together $25,000. Bailed out Natalie. For the kids, they said. Greg stayed in jail. My parents stayed in jail. I got a text that afternoon. Greg's mother. Happy now? Your parents are in jail because of you. I didn't respond. Blocked the number. Wednesday morning, Mercury Insurance filed a civil lawsuit separate from the criminal charges. They wanted their money back from the fraudulent claim Natalie had filed 3 years ago. $42,000, plus penalties, plus legal fees. Total, $126,000. The court froze all of Natalie and Greg's assets, pending resolution. Bank accounts frozen, $1,700 combined. Greg's truck.
Seized.
He bought it 2 years ago with cash, $43,000, right after Natalie's first insurance payout. The court called it proceeds of fraud. The house, pre-foreclosure notice filed. Natalie couldn't make payments with frozen accounts. Couldn't refinance with pending criminal charges. Bank gave her 60 days. She moved in with Greg's parents. A 2-bedroom condo now housing 6 people. Greg's parents, Natalie, 2 kids, and Greg's younger brother who'd been living there rent-free for a year. Aunt Carol texted me Thursday. Natalie's kids are sleeping on a couch because you couldn't keep your mouth shut. I responded this time. Natalie's kids are on a couch because their parents committed fraud. As far as we are concerned, you have no family here. Good. Blocked her too. Week 5, the prosecutor called. Jessica Martinez, 15 years in the DA's office, specialized in white-collar crime. I need you to testify. Trials in 3 weeks. As what? I already gave a statement. Fact witness and expert witness. You can testify about what your family asked you to do. Then you can explain to the jury how insurance fraud works. You're a fraud analyst. That makes you an expert. Okay. I'll need you to review the evidence with me. Make sure we're presenting it correctly. Can you come to my office tomorrow? I went. Spent 4 hours walking her through the databases, the patterns, the red flags, how staged accidents get structured, how fraud rings operate. She took notes, asked good questions. Smart questions. How common is this? We see about 200 staged collision claims per year in this state alone. Most involve family members. Success rate is high because insurance companies settle quickly to avoid litigation costs. Can you identify other claims connected to this ring? I pulled the data. 47 similar claims filed in the same county over 5 years. Same characteristics: low-speed rear-end collisions, inflated injury claims, quick settlements. 12 different individuals connected to Greg through phone records or social media. This isn't just your sister and Greg. This is a network. Can you testify about that? Yes. Jessica smiled. You're going to be my star witness. Trial started 3 weeks later. Monday morning, courtroom packed. Family members on both sides. Media in the back, local news covering it. I sat in the witness waiting area. Couldn't be in the courtroom until after I testified. Jessica's opening statement took 20 minutes. I heard it through the closed door. Her voice clear, confident. This is not a case of misunderstanding. This is calculated, organized fraud. The defendants staged a collision, filed false claims, recruited witnesses, attempted to coerce a family member who works in insurance fraud detection into committing perjury. The evidence will show a pattern spanning multiple years and multiple claims. This was not desperation. This was a business model. The defense attorney's opening was shorter, weaker. My clients made a mistake. They were desperate. Natalie Mitchell has 2 young children and was facing foreclosure. They made bad choices out of fear, but this was not organized crime. This was a family in crisis. The jury looked skeptical. Day 3, I testified. Jessica called me first thing in the morning. A bailiff led me in. The courtroom was silent. Every seat filled. I saw my family at the defendant's table. Natalie in a gray dress, trying to look sympathetic. Greg in a cheap suit. My parents in their church clothes. None of them looked at me. I swore in, sat down. Jessica stood. Please state your name and occupation. Owen Mitchell, fraud analyst for State Farm Insurance. How long have you worked in fraud detection? 7 years. Can you describe what your job entails? I analyze insurance claims. Look for patterns that indicate fraud, staged accidents, inflated claims, false documentation. When I identify suspicious activity, I refer it to the Special Investigations Unit. And what is your relationship to the defendants? Natalie Mitchell is my sister. Richard and Susan Mitchell are my parents. Greg Williams is my brother-in-law. The jury shifted. One woman in the front row mouthed something. Looked shocked. Jessica walked me through it. The phone call, the meeting at my parents' house, the pre-written witness statement, the pressure, the guilt trips. What did the statement claim? That I had witnessed the accident. That I saw the defendant's vehicle strike my sister's vehicle at high speed. That I observed my sister in severe distress immediately after impact. None of that was true?
No.
I wasn't there. What did you do with the statement? I told them I would review it with my attorney. Then I reported them to the SIU. The defense attorney cross-examined, tried to make me look cold, calculated, vindictive. You sent your own parents to prison over a signature. I reported a crime. The justice system determined their guilt. Do you feel any remorse for what you've done to your family? For reporting fraud? No. Your niece and nephew are sleeping on a couch because of you. My niece and nephew are sleeping on a couch because their parents staged an insurance fraud scheme and got caught. He had no response to that.
Sat down.
Day 4. Jessica called me back. Expert witness this time. Can you explain to the jury how staged accident fraud works? I walked them through it step by step, like I was teaching a training course. Step 1. Recruit a defendant. Usually a family member or a close friend. Someone you trust not to talk. In this case, Greg Williams recruited his cousin, Marcus Williams. The jury took notes, several of them glancing at Greg. Step 2. Stage a low-speed collision, under 10 miles per hour. Enough to cause minor damage, but not serious injury. This minimizes risk, while still creating a plausible insurance claim. Step 3. File inflated injury claims. Whiplash is common.
PTSD.
Soft tissue damage. These are difficult to disprove medically. They rely on patient self-reporting. Step 4. Recruit a credible witness. Ideally, someone with professional credibility. In this case, they wanted me because I work in insurance. My statement would carry more weight than a random witness. Step 5. Settle quickly. Most insurance companies settle within 30 days to avoid litigation costs. The fraud ring moves on before any serious investigation starts. Jessica showed the jury a chart I'd prepared. 47 similar claims, dates, amounts, patterns. My sister's claim in 2021 followed this exact pattern. Her current claim followed this exact pattern. Greg Williams has appeared as a witness on 4 other suspicious claims over 5 years. This is not a one-time mistake. This is organized fraud. The defense attorney didn't cross-examine. Had nothing to say. The jury deliberated 4 hours. I wasn't in the courtroom when they came back. Watched from the hallway through the window in the door. The foreman stood. Read the verdict. Natalie Mitchell.
Guilty.
Insurance fraud.
Guilty.
Conspiracy. Greg Williams.
Guilty.
Insurance fraud.
Guilty.
Conspiracy.
Guilty.
Witness tampering. Richard Mitchell.
Guilty.
Conspiracy. Guilty. Attempted witness tampering. Susan Mitchell.
Guilty.
Conspiracy.
Guilty.
Attempted witness tampering. My mother started crying. Loud sobs. A bailiff handed her tissues. My father stared at me through the window. Not sad. Not regretful. Angry. Like I'd betrayed him. Like this was my fault. I stared back. No expression. No emotion. Natalie collapsed into her chair. Greg put his head in his hands. The judge set sentencing for 3 weeks, thanked the jury, dismissed court. I walked out, didn't look back. 4 hours. 4 hours to decide. 4 hours to watch the traffic camera footage showing my sister waving at her co-conspirator before the staged collision. 4 hours to review surveillance video of her doing yoga while claiming PTSD. 4 hours to hear me explain exactly how insurance fraud works. How they tried to make me part of it. How I'd refused. 4 hours to conclude what I already knew. Guilty. All 4 of them. My father's expression when the verdict came back, not shame, not remorse, just rage. Like I was the criminal. Like I'd done something unforgivable. My mother crying into her hands. Natalie staring at the floor. Greg mouthing something at me I couldn't make out. I just walked out. Didn't wait for the family reactions. Didn't wait for the media questions. Just left. Sentencing day. I didn't go. Went to work instead. Normal Tuesday. Reviewed 3 fraud cases. Approved 2 claims. Flagged 1 for investigation. Had lunch at my desk. Chicken salad, black coffee. Around 6 that evening, I checked the court docket online. Sentencing had concluded an hour ago. Natalie Mitchell, 3 years prison, $150,000 restitution, 5 years probation after release. Greg Williams, 6 years prison, $200,000 restitution, 10 years probation. Prior fraud history increased his sentence. Richard Mitchell, 18 months prison, $50,000 restitution, 3 years probation. Susan Mitchell, 18 months prison, $50,000 restitution, 3 years probation. House foreclosure finalized. Sold at auction for $210,000. Bank took $185,000. Remaining $25,000 went to the restitution fund. I closed the laptop, made dinner, pasta and marinara from a jar, watched a documentary about deep-sea exploration, went to bed at 11 p.m. I slept fine. 2 weeks later, I got a notice from the court. Victim Restitution Program. As a victim of financial exploitation, I could file a claim against the defendants. The $15,000 loan never repaid. Court classified it as fraud by deception. I filled out the form. $15,000 principal. $3,200 interest, calculated at 8% over 2 years. Total, $18,200. Filed it with the court. Took 3 days for approval. Restitution payments would come from Natalie's prison wages. 12 cents per hour. 20 hours per week. After she was released, the payments would continue from her income. Garnished wages. $100 per month minimum. 15 years minimum to pay it off. Maybe longer. I smiled. First time in months. 2 months after sentencing, Uncle Mike sent an email to the entire family. Annual family reunion canceled indefinitely. Given current circumstances, we feel it's best to postpone until further notice. The family fractured after that. 3 camps formed. Team Owen, Aunt Linda and Cousin Ben. Both had loaned Oni to Natalie years ago, never repaid. They understood what I'd done. Aunt Linda texted me, "You did the right thing. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise." Team Natalie, Greg's parents, Aunt Carol, most of the older relatives, the ones who still believed family meant unconditional protection, even when family was guilty. Team Switzerland, younger cousins, distant relatives, people who didn't want to get involved, stayed quiet, avoided taking sides. I removed myself from all family group chats, 11 different text chains, birthdays, holidays, general family updates. Left them all. Blocked 17 phone numbers. Cousins, aunts, uncles, anyone who'd sent me angry messages. Changed my Netflix password. My parents had been using my account for 3 years. Natalie had been using it, too. All logged out now. Small victories. 3 months post-sentencing, Greg's mother called. I almost didn't answer. Unknown number. I picked up anyway. Owen. Yes. It's Margaret. Greg's mom.
Pause.
I didn't say anything. The kids ask about you. They miss Uncle Owen. How are they doing? They're adjusting. Therapy twice a week. School counselor says they're resilient, but it's hard. They don't understand why their parents aren't coming home. That's difficult. Natalie wants you to visit her in prison. She wants to talk to you.
No.
She's your sister. She's a convicted felon. Owen for the kids.
They need family right now.
Stable family. You could. The kids are not my responsibility. Their parents made choices. These are the consequences. I hung up. I sat there for 10 minutes, thinking about my niece and nephew, 5 and 3, growing up with parents in prison, sleeping on a couch, living with grandparents who were barely making it themselves. Not my fault, not my responsibility, but still. I opened my laptop, searched for 529 college savings plans. State-sponsored, tax-advantaged for educational expenses. Set up 2 accounts, one for each kid. $5,000 initial deposit in each. Set up automatic monthly contributions, $100 per month, each account. Did the math. By the time they turned 18, each account would have around $40,000. Enough for a community college, maybe state school if they got scholarships. Never told anyone. Not Margaret, not the kids, not Aunt Linda. Just did it. Moved on. 6 months post-sentencing, I went to Kroger. Tuesday evening after work. Needed groceries. Milk, bread, frozen vegetables. Turned the corner into the frozen food section. Saw Margaret, Greg's mom. Shopping cart. 2 kids with her. My niece, my nephew. Bigger now, 6 and 4, growing fast. They saw me before I could back away. Uncle Owen, the older one, my niece, ran toward me. Big smile, arms out. I froze. Margaret's voice cut through, cold, sharp. Get back here now. But it's Uncle Owen. That's not your uncle anymore. Come here. My niece stopped, confused. Looked between me and Margaret.
Didn't understand.
Slowly walked back to the cart. My nephew waved at me. Small wave. Uncertain. I waved back. Barely visible. Small motion. Margaret stared at me. Your mother cried every day for 2 months because of what you did. Hope you're proud. My mother committed a felony. She's crying because she got caught. Family is supposed to protect family. Family is supposed to not ask you to commit crimes. I turned my cart, walked away down the next aisle. Didn't look back. Behind me, a faint voice. My niece. Why doesn't Uncle Owen like us anymore? I kept walking. Finished my shopping, paid, drove home.
Didn't think about it.
Didn't let myself think about it. 1 year later, Sunday morning. Coffee shop on Main Street. My usual spot. A corner table, black coffee, Blueberry muffin, reading news on my phone. Email notification popped up. You have a message from Natalie Mitchell. Inmate number 847392.
Prison email system.
Inmates could send messages through a monitored platform. Cost them 25 cents per message. Subject line: I'm sorry. I stared at it. 30 seconds, maybe longer. Thumb hovering over the notification. I swiped it away. Deleted the email without opening it. Went into settings. Blocked the sender. Went back to my coffee. 1 year after sentencing, 1 year after I filed that report, life looked different now. Quiet.
Stable.
Peaceful.
Work promoted me.
Senior fraud analyst. $95,000 salary, a $10,000 raise. The company gave me an integrity award. Plaque on my desk. Gold lettering. Nobody mentioned why I'd received it. Everyone knew anyway. My parents got released after 14 months. Good behavior. Time served. They moved to Florida. My mother's sister lived there. 1,200 miles away. They didn't tell me they were leaving. Heard about it from Aunt Linda.
Didn't call them.
Didn't reach out.
Neither did they.
Natalie had 2 years left on her sentence. Greg had 4.5. My niece and nephew were doing okay, according to Aunt Linda. Still in therapy, still with Greg's parents. Adjusting. The college funds I'd set up were growing. 14 months of contributions, market returns. Each account sitting around $6,200 now.
Nobody knew about them.
Wouldn't know until the kids turned 18. A lawyer would contact them. Explain someone had set aside money for their education. Maybe they'd figure out it was me. Maybe they wouldn't. Didn't matter either way. My life now? Quiet mornings, coffee shops, work I was good at, an apartment I could afford. No surprise family visits, no guilt trips, no voicemails begging for money. Just silence. People asked sometimes. Coworkers who knew the story. Friends who'd heard rumors. Do you regret it? The answer never changed.
No.
I didn't send anyone to prison. I reported a crime. They sent themselves to prison when they staged that accident. When they asked me to commit perjury. When they chose $100,000 over honesty. People said I destroyed the family. I said the family destroyed itself the moment they decided fraud was acceptable if it kept everyone comfortable. My sister's house sold at auction. My parents' restitution came out of their Social Security every month. A $50 automatic deduction that would take years to pay off. Greg's truck got seized and sold. Proceeds went to the restitution fund. And me? I got promoted. Got a raise. Got a plaque on my desk that reminded me every morning what integrity looked like. Some people called that cold. I called it consequences. And I slept just fine. So tell me, if you were in my shoes, faced with that kind of pressure from your own family, what would you have done? Have you ever had to choose between loyalty and your own sense of right and wrong? I'd really like to hear your thoughts in the comments below.